Yeah, this meeting is being live streamed.
Stream, so
Got it.
shelf help show. Go fucking. Oh, so
Do you have an introduction you want to do or something like that?
no, yeah. What's going on, guys? Shelf help show. Jeffrey with the G. You know me. To my right, I believe, depending on what direction you're facing, that would be Mathew D in the house. They call him the Big D because he's 6'5". Makes an average sized penis like really small. Oh no, you want to use my hand?
Ladies, that's not true, by the way. Just because you're a tall man and you're 6'5" and 280, I'm basically average. So
It's like Whoopi Goldberg when she was in, what was it, Ed? When she becomes a basketball coach. I think that's what it was. And she goes in the locker room and she just starts cracking up. She just starts yelling at everybody, and she's like, "Oh no, it's not. Oh my god!" It was really funny. She's like, "Well, I guess not everything's above average."
you know what? And I always I always think that black men probably have it the worst because they have the stigma that they're supposed to be huge.
Oh yeah.
And if you're a black man and you're not huge,
Right.
like
you apologize way more than we ever have.
I'm a white guy,
Sorry for the
quarter
misunderstanding.
Mexican, so that probably took off a couple inches right there. So
no.
I'm pretty comfortable. You look at my height and you look at how big I am, and and actually I've had some problems with that, even in just my neighborhood. Well, because
being tall or showing your wiener to people.
No,
I don't know if it's only a problem if the police come, right?
Just my wiener. No, but I could tell that the guys were intimidated,
and
worried that I was like some massive, thing. And I constantly would say, I'm not. Ask my wife. I'm not.
I'm not here to steal
a
your
little
women.
above average, and that's about it. I am not porn star quality or anything like that.
I want to purchase your daughter.
Oh, you're gonna throw my lines back at me? Sell me your children.
That was it. All right, so welcome to the Shelf Help Show. I'm going to play an intro that I made for Sunday's show, which is the Atomic Dork Squad, because I like to do things out of order. I figured I put some effort into Fresh Hot Trips today. We'll take a look at it real quick. You guys can give me your honest opinion, as long as it's positive.
As long as it's positive.
Yeah, as long as it's flattering. So it's just a rough cut, but here we go. Okay. Oh, Atomic Dork Squad, Fresh Hot Chips. That's kind of nice. Little dude.
What happened?
I don't know, we lost some audio,
Okay.
but anyway, just rough cut.
No, I was enjoying it. That was good. I mean, it was so good that I got hot and had to take off my
No, geez,
Armani jacket.
that went.
I paid $10 for it at a thrift store.
Oh, your yeah, the audio just crapped out on the.
Yeah,
Wow.
it just dropped. Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, well, that's why I put slow fade at the end, so it just silent immediately. That's nice. Anyway, that's the backdrop. So I'm gonna cut it up a little bit. There'll be some graphics, and I probably won't go psychotic like on some of my other stuff where there's like dogs barking and planes crashing. And although I like that stuff a lot, it does entertain the hell out of me. We're trying to be a little more subtle for that show. Maybe turn it into something that is a travel log worth looking at. Can you imagine? I wouldn't want to travel though. Although I'm a Sagittarius, which is contraindicated for my zodiac for sure. Although if I could stay at a $2,000 a night mansion and then just hang out with my buddies and do crazy,
right?
that could be fun. I mean, the whole idea of what we're doing is if the budget wasn't an issue, and let's say that we wanted to bring 5 to 10 couples, let's say we want to do 20 to 30 people.
Who is we? When you
Plus
say
kids.
we,
Plus they can bring the kids too. So we would, if we were to cap out at 36 to 40 people.
Jeff, when you say we, who is we?
Oh, Daniel Thompson, Jeff Coy, myself.
Okay.
So we've taken this on as a side show for Dork Squad. We'll give Star Wars a break for a little bit. Let it to gain some some more stuff to look at, some more things to talk about. After a year and a half of talking about Star Wars, I mean, people have been doing it for 40 years, so.
No, I think I fully support your idea. I think it's a good idea because what you really need is it's just an event, and it lets you get close and connect with your people.
Right.
And that's fantastic. That's what you should be doing. So
you know how some comedians like the guys from what is that show called? Hold on. The three New Yorker friends who prank each other.
It's maybe I'm just gonna
Sal Volcano. Like I know the guys. I forget the damn show. Impractical Jokers. There, that's it. Impractical Jokers. Have you seen Impractical Jokers?
No.
It is if you're not one who likes to if you're anything like me and you in TV time means either connecting the dot with one of my kids, so watching something that we want to watch in common, or I think they really need to experience, or it's got to be time. It's got to be time that's traded because I think time is valuable. I mean, we have a finite amount of it on the in our life, and so the first 45 years ish of my life I spent probably watching more television than doing anything productive outside of work. Yeah. And I realized that doesn't fill your mind. It doesn't fill relationships. It doesn't. It's futile. Now there's a time and a place for it. Sometimes I just need to tap out with a smile on my face and a Coors Light in my hand.
Can I throw you
Impractical Jokers is the show for that. There's just three guys who basically they have contests on the streets of New York. And they punk each other and they come up with rules. about basically how to screw with people around them, and then the one who loses has to do something torturous that they really really hate. And it's a great formula. It's lighthearted, it's fun.
Can I throw you under the bus real quick?
Yeah.
I know you have to say yes. So for everybody who's listening, all three of you.
All three.
Um,
I have tens of fans. What are you talking about?
tens of fans, yes.
Tens.
But Jeff, at one point in time, where I hadn't seen him for the longest time,
Yeah.
it felt like forever, and it kind of was. But there was a point in time where he was living across, you can't even say across the street, right? It was across the complex. We were in apartments, and he was living with his grandmother. And I was like, one day he's walking by, I'm going, wow. I'm like, what? I know that guy, you know. And I wasn't doing much better, but I was working on it, you know. And so it was pretty funny that was our last contact until he came up with doing these shows and putting them together. And then from there, we've kind of grown a little bit, you know, a little bit more.
Isn't that wild? And that was, well, let's see, graduated in 92. My grandmother passed away in 97.
Before 2000.
Yeah. So, yeah. And Lisa and I had just started, Lisa and I were new. So it would have been 96, 97.
Yeah. And
so,
correct me if I'm wrong. Do you not have a tattoo that is in reverse? Like the number 13 or something, but backwards, like
I had one.
Oh, yes. You got removed. Oh, see, yeah, there you go. Show it.
Covered up.
Oh, you covered it.
It was underneath.
But it was like
random symbols. Well, it wasn't random. It was like.
But it was in reverse, right? Because it was.
You see it?
Backward and wrong.
No, not really. Well. I can see little symbols.
Sorry. So you know I'm going to call you out on this stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
You want to see my tattoos?
So it was a.
That's my tattoo, baby. I have no tattoos.
It was
I'm a musician and never got tattoos.
It was a Hindu Om symbol, Om sign. It was, but I didn't think it was it backwards? So it was a take on the Om. It had a phallic symbol. It had a cross. I remember I came up with this esoteric way to describe my attachment to this idea of the Trinity so it was like Father, Son, Holy Ghost plus, you know, I don't know. I was trying to mesh at that time would have been my faltering Christianity with my spiritual beliefs. And then I crafted this symbol to be a representative of all of it combined. So the problem was if you have to explain what your fucking tattoo is every time,
right.
It becomes not fun having it any longer. My dad pointed that out. He's like, "What dipshit? Like you got that mumbo jumbo in your arm. Nobody knows what it is. And you're trying to explain it, just like I did now. Except I had a more clear explanation than them, but it still was painful. But it's God and it's the Trinity and it's the shut the fuck up." So then I get the shark put on it to cover it up.
And
my dad's like, "What is that, sperm?"
I could never remember you and my friend Chance, who was the best bass player I've ever played with in my life. But Chance also was not just a bass player; he was a tattoo artist and an artist. He was really great. Except one night he decided, by the way, he also did a lot of heroin. So
Well, that happens.
it just kind of goes with that whole lifestyle that I decided to not do and just kind of, go around. But what he did is he looked in the mirror, and because he was a bass player, he drew a bass clef. Except it was in the mirror, so it was backwards. And it was completely wrong.
Mhm.
And then he had to live with it, but he's passed. So
Go heroin.
yeah, yay, heroin. Yeah.
I had a buddy who I should have used as my tattoo artist. So I've known a couple of people who wanted to be tattoo artists, and then a couple who made it, and a couple who didn't. Difference is the ones who make it, or at least start, they get a chair somewhere in a building at a tattoo shop. Those are the guys you should get your tattoo from. The ones who at least have a chair in a building. Your garage tattoo friends who hope to have a chair in a building, they may not be your best choice. There might be a lot of stabbing and bleeding.
Driving that needle a little too deep. Yeah.
Yeah, like I can't believe we've been at this for 8 hours, and they're like, yeah, me neither.
Well, and that was, my ex had quite a few tattoos.
Mhm.
And up there in, well, you don't know because you're not here, but San Marcos, we actually found a woman who was a really great artist, to the point where she had actually, like, her claim to fame, because you kind of need that when you're really professional, is she had done a tattoo for Ozzy. So you feel really comfortable walking in.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could do a tattoo for Ozzy.
Well, yeah.
Well, how was her work?
It was good, except I was probably the problem, because at the time it was a spinal tattoo that I had drawn out,
Mm-hmm.
that my ex decided she wanted it, which I thought, I was like, wow, I don't know why you want something that I drew, but you go do you, whatever. Which she covered up immediately when we got divorced. But you know how they go in and they put the print out and they set it up. And I looked at it and I'm like, it's not straight. And I could tell she was not happy that the tattoo artist was not happy that I was saying that.
Oh,
But she did her professional job, and she got it done. And by the end of it, it was good. Because it was a tribal design with an owl at the top. It was fun.
it sounds horrible.
Thank you.
It's like a horrible idea. Fuck.
I didn't draw it for her to get it. I just drew it one day, just sitting in the living room. I'm like, blah 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 blah, and then she looked at it and she's like, I want to get that. And then I thought, why would you? Like I said, why would you do that? That's horrible. Don't do that. What if we get divorced?
Right.
Cha-ching.
Ding.
Oh God, what are we watching?
Epic.
Pretty good.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no kidding.
This dude asked me to film him. Oh.
Jeez and Christ.
Oh God, that just looks like it hurts. It just hurts. It hurts. Oh, there's potentially sound. Oh, sound of that chain cutting into his legs. All right. Oh, sorry. I meant to hit stop. I don't know what happened.
You know what? I can't feel bad for that guy because you're a dumbass to even try that.
Oh, sometimes you just have to live, Matthew. Sometimes you just have to live. Live like you're dying, man. Oh, this is a fantastic hat. Oh man. All right, we're gonna look at some meme stuff a little bit too. So guys, we're gonna do meme. We're gonna do some spirituality and religion tonight. More in the spirituality side. If you caught the blurb on the FB or the IG, wherever I dropped it, I believe what I said is HTTPS PSAP 006. Oh no, that's the wrong note. Sorry. Parse and part float. Nope, wrong one. Hold on. Shoot. I have 4 notes. Let's find the other one. Aha. This one. Yes. Have you ever laid awake at night looking for something a bit more than your traditional prayer to capital G God? Have you ever wondered what it is that people who are spiritual really believe? Let's jump in tonight and find out. Joined by my first spiritual guide, Mathew D. Let's explore. And that's no bullshit either. He might have been 8 years old at the time, but it didn't matter.
Hey, by the way, it took a lot for me to do this, but on my Facebook, after the other night, Joe Frank, and I sent you what I wrote.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't gonna post it publicly. I sent it to my girlfriend, and but then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna put it up on Facebook. And I said it was because of you. So I was inspired by this idea. I woke up in the morning. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this. I don't ever write anything erotic because that's not my world.
Right.
So I don't know if you saw that or not. And you can feel free to share it now or don't, whatever. That's not me.
We're gonna get a little Joe light jazz going in the background, and we'll I'll definitely share it.
Okay. You're welcome to it. It's fun.
Oh shit.
The weird thing is it's all actually true.
Well, yeah.
And we had a conversation before about it.
Right.
What's up with this guy?
There was some consent.
Yeah.
Implied consent. Right.
Yeah. She's like, well, why is this happening? And all the way down to the end there, if you read it.
Yep.
That's what happened.
I just read it. Very nice. Very nice.
I love to hear you read it.
Yeah. Let me grab some background music here and I'll fucking read it.
Oh boy.
Now that it's stuck in my head and I get a little bit of a chubby. Which means I just
that is a compliment.
I glanced at the first I glanced at what you sent to me, and then I read the first 2 sentences, and then something came up, so I moved along. Well, I'm glad I did. It's a good story. So after this spirituality, but hey, if you want to get in touch with your spiritual side, this is also a very effective way to do so. You will understand.
If you want to get in touch,
don't make Orwell fiction again. I just saw that hat. Make Orwell fiction again. That's good. I like that. All right, bear with me just a second. Let's grab some music.
You know what was really funny was I had what I guess she was my first girlfriend,
Hmm.
and I haven't talked to her in a long time, but she's like, you wrote waste wrong. I said, well, I can't spell or punctuate, She's like,
Right.
yeah. And she goes, I wrote something in, I was gonna do it, and then I didn't, and I backed out. And I was like, okay, well, hold on. Where is it? And then I found it and I'm like, okay, how do you spell waste? And she's like, you're talking about waste like waste trash. She goes, and that's not what you meant. So I got ex-girlfriends like checking it out, making sure that I'm good, I'm solid.
That's cute. I like that. I like the fact that they're an ex and they can read your little salacious story and then just
Well,
want
and
to
they know, yeah.
give you a
Well,
heads up on the.
her and I are good. It's not, she
I like
she
it.
has a boyfriend, I got a girlfriend,
Of
and
course,
it's all cool,
but not everybody acts like grown-ups. You know this.
especially me.
Um,
Well,
let's see.
where's that music, buddy?
Yeah, I think I'm getting it. Come on, come on. Show
Hey,
me
you
this
know what?
fucking file.
You know what? Do
Mixed recording with champ soon.
you know what?
Do 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 do.
Hey, I can't distract you. You're supposed to be working.
Oh,
I know.
when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. You know that?
Oh yeah,
Wedding bells they ring, ding a ling a ling.
that's
It's
more.
a bella. Fuck, dude. Nope.
You gotta get quicker at this because we're losing our audience. They've all went to sleep.
All right, audience. Well, you gave me the impromptu sex story, and I'm trying to find a song to go with it. And I remembered I moved all my music over to my D drive because it was clogging up my primary drive. So now I'm delayed, but who cares? Whatever. Guys, listen. The story is brief. It's going to take about as long as it would take me to ejaculate if I was reading it by myself. But it is beautiful and it's inspired. So pay attention. Don't run off. Don't give me a hard time. Let me find something to play behind it. Plus, I got to find something that's not already like copyright. I should have something that I stole legally. I think I do now. Clark W. Griswold. That name sounds familiar.
This is the time where I should have something to say or do. Like,
I mean, I know somebody who's a fucking musician who has guitars sitting right there who could just strum a song while they read it. You just pick.
yeah, well,
Damn. I'm just saying. Little picky.
they're all the way across the room.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And they're not in tune. Then I'd have to tune and blah.
Here we go.
Blah, blah.
Days Creeps Come Alive. I don't know what kind of music this is. It feels like it's EDM and not jazz, but we'll find out. Am I close? Feels like romantic music. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you're not talking.
Oh, Fifi.
I thought that was the whole purpose. You were supposed to.
Well, it was too fucking loud, and it was EDM. It was just for a moment to dance.
All right, then just forget about it, man. Let it go.
You're your lack of patience. It's fantastic when the effort is all mine.
It's not
Thank
the lack of patience, it's the lack of your audience's patience, because I know.
No, they're fine. They know that it was going to take an hour to get there. Don't worry, we'll edit it before we put it back out on YouTube. All right. I'll put music behind it later, but here you go. We'll just get it.
I just want to hear the Adams voice saying it. Just my pants might get a little tight when you do it. So
My eyes are closed and the hotel room is dark. She's lying there next to me. I know this because I know her scent. Not her expensive perfumes or the shampoo for her hair. It's a fragrance that only I know. 3:04 a.m. She's sleeping calmly, but has given me the confidence that allows me to wake her up from a deep sleep. I gently put my hand on her shoulder. I guide her head down to my waist, where she will find me completely erect. Without hesitation, she puts me in her mouth. As I lay back, I realize I haven't even taken the time to remove my CPAP mask. And now I'm in such a heavenly state that I don't even think of taking it off, because that would interrupt the extraordinary pleasure that she's given me.
see, you don't need music, man. You got that deep, throaty.
Nice work, sir. Oh, nice work. There's a yeah, well, having the pipes helps, right? And the pacing. Lucky I read thousands and thousands of books. No, good job, man. Whew. What do you guys think? You guys want a copy of that? You brave enough to give that to your wife, partner, gal, whomever, and feel like with his words and my voice that you're going to get your Peter sucked. Are you okay with that? You should be, because it doesn't matter
Yeah.
where the inspiration comes from, as long as you got the inspiration.
Believe me, she read it before you ever saw it.
That's right. I used to do when I started doing podcast trainings for this company I worked for. So we do recaps of modules people could listen to. So if they would forget, somebody would say, "Hey, remember, listen to this 5-minute or this 10-minute." I call them training casts, training tracks and casts. Listen to this one; it'll refresh your memory on how such and such works. Once they were out there floating around the company, I had people confessing that they would take my files home with them and use it to fall asleep. First couple of men who told me that, I thought it was interesting. They're like, "Yeah, I'll listen. It's good. It's a good reminder of how, variable annuities work. And plus, your voice is so damn soothing. I just fall asleep listening to you." I was like, "That's cool. It's a little weird, but thanks for telling me." And then, like, the first handful of ladies told me, and I was like, "Oh, I appreciate that." And they're like, "Your voice."
Well, what I will tell you is, like,
And then,
what is that?
and then,
All right. Sorry, I'm distracted by the lotion or whatever the hell was on my desk. Yesterday, this was my girlfriend's idea, but again, she's 9 years older than me, or 8 years older, or whatever.
You're a little quiet, buddy. Can you square up on your mic a little bit?
I'm just okay.
No, a little closer.
How about now?
You guys are
Good? Yes? No?
Let me calibrate. I'm gonna calibrate you.
No, it's all right. Let me,
No, I got you here. All right, hit me again. Hit me.
I'm just using my computer. Is it good?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Then I won't use the microphone.
No, it's good. Yeah, just wanted to compare.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Well, now that you distracted me, it's hard to remember.
Well, you were picking at things on your
my
pants.
conversation, but it was her idea to have my parents come over, and you know, there was like a massive plethora of food and things like that. But it actually turned out to be a really good time. So it was cool.
What is it that your dad said?
I can't answer that. I'm not sure.
What? I thought
Did I come in with that as a lead?
you didn't.
Well, no. My mom was way open, and so was my dad. And I heard stories that I'd never heard before about family and things like that. And so it was pretty fun. So, in fact, to the point where today I kind of even threw out the idea that I don't know where you're at in Arizona, but my uncle just bought in Arizona, and we might go out next month and do that, but I'm not sure if we will or not. It's all kind of in the air right now.
You don't know. So there's kind of two parts to Arizona. It's the Phoenix plus area, which is central north of the state. I guess if you're for tourists, tourists would know three spots. You got the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is also like Flagstaff, Williams,
Sedona.
close enough, right? And then you have
He's
Central.
Do you know? I keep calling it Tupac, which I shouldn't do.
Tucson.
No, it's not Tucson.
Tubac.
Tubac
is just south of Tucson by, I don't know, 10 miles.
Yeah.
This is where I bought this jewelry.
Yeah, and it's an artist community, right?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Love it. Love Tubac.
Really?
Yeah.
How far away are you from there?
15-minute drive.
Oh.
No, maybe 30-minute. Maybe half hour, 45 max. It's not too far down the road. I used to live close to it because I lived 20 miles south of where I live now, which is right on the southern outskirts of Tucson, which is it's a big town. It's spread out.
Yeah.
And then down the 19, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes from where I used to live is Tubac, and it's they got bed and breakfast. You know, you want to go down and do some shopping, artsy fartsy stuff, buy some jewelry.
That's what we were looking at. We found a hotel, and also there's like a casino that's away.
Yep.
Now
Casino
you
del
get
Sol.
another excuse to go there. So
Casino del Sol.
Shame on you.
Casino of the Sun. They've got if you like tobacco products, you can get them from everything. Wicked deals. Tobacco Barn, Chico's, because they're out on the reservation, so you don't pay any federal tax. So when I got my pipe and I wanted to get some Captain Black pipe tobacco, usually
one of our many sponsors who doesn't pay us.
Oh, I know. I should affiliate with them, shouldn't I? So good. I went there because
what's in there? I'm not getting this.
You don't get the smell. Oh, this is a
that weed.
No, it's wood. Wood. That's tobacco. This is to tamp it into your pipe.
Okay, yeah, okay. I don't.
You want to smoke a bowl right now? I'll do it.
No,
I've got a great pipe. It's big.
you stay calm, buddy. We don't need to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, Tupac is a great place.
Okay, well, if I end up out there, I will. I'll tell you. This is what I have. Have you ever had one of these?
What is it? A chocolate?
No, it's a nerd gummy.
Oh, like just a nerd candy. It's not.
Nerds wrapped around a gummy.
Yeah. So yeah, I've had nerd gummy rope before. That was a lot of.
Oh
candy.
yeah, they make the ropes.
Yeah, that was a lot of candy, but it is good because it's got that crunchy sour, and then you got that.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Man, it's not going to get you high, but it's
No.
good.
I could have chosen some background music. For the 3:04 a.m. blow, but I didn't even think to go where I can guarantee it wasn't going to be EDM music. So let's change. Let's switch gears. Change topics. You guys ready?
Go.
All right. So I remember being interested in spiritual anything spiritual. I didn't know, and I didn't have conflict for a long time between being Christian, which is how I was raised, and spirituality, which to me always felt like it was inspired by the same positive energy in the universe. I never saw it as a conflict. Even my grandmother, she believed, she could espouse on one hand, she could say how Lutheran she was, basically, because we went to Lutheran church. She could say how she believed in God the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord. And then on the flip side, she can say to me, I believe that God gives you an opportunity to keep growing throughout eternity, and that when you die, that you don't necessarily just disappear or go to a place, that if you have more lessons to learn, that you'll come back and you'll live a life again. And I say, Grandma, how can you be a spiritualist in that regards? Or how could you be that's more Hindu even? You're saying that you believe in what's it called? Not resurrection. What's called what?
Reincarnation.
Reincarnation. Thank you. How can you believe in reincarnation and also say that you're a monotheistic Christian woman? That just seems like it's like conflict with each other. And she said, if one entity had all the answers, there wouldn't be so many questions and so many ways to answer them. I said, dang, Grandma. And she said, if I didn't believe that, I could only think that you were insane otherwise, because you've been here many times, just so you know. And me and my girlfriends called that out when you were 4 years old. You freaked everybody out.
I'm sorry. Roll that back.
Grandma said,
girlfriends called that out when you were 4 years old.
My grandmother said that she and her girlfriends.
Oh, okay. That's the part I didn't get.
Yeah,
I missed what you were saying.
Called me out for, in their opinion, having cycled through the world a few times already, because they couldn't explain.
So what do you think about
the point of view otherwise?
Where are you now in your 48 years of life that
I
you were receiving wisdom from somebody who
right.
was way beyond.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that God or the universe, whatever you're comfortable with understanding, your understanding of it to be, will provide you with the tools and allow you to see what it is that you need when you need to see it, and that to deny it, um,
Can I be really mean right now?
there's no, what's the point? Yeah.
That is the cop out answer.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted a specific.
Well, no, I do. I want to know what you really think, but I don't want you to just fall to the cop out, just what do you really think? Because I know you,
Yeah,
and
I believe.
I know that you think way deeper than that answer. That answer
Yeah,
sounds really great on here.
I believe in psychic energy. I believe in energy.
Good.
I believe in energy in all forms. It cannot be created nor destroyed. It only changes form, right? I believe there's power to it. I believe that energy contains information, and that energy contains um like pathways to learn, see, and understand things that you probably couldn't have imagined. And the
So,
reason I believe that is because I've explored beyond my intuition. But my intuition is really strong, and it's like nauseatingly strong, and that's how it gets my attention.
see that
Is
answer already right now, and I know you're not done, and I don't mean to cut you off, but that is a truthful answer. That's what I wanted to hear from you from the beginning, not your other answer. So roll, keep going.
um
Let us know what's in that big fucking noggin of yours.
so you're if you know if for those of you who have know about my past, having night terrors growing up, um having many experiences with darkness and what I perceive to be death, that I could travel into, kind of like Insidious. Um, I struggled a lot. I struggled greatly with losing myself into alternate realities, and then my parents not understanding what was going on, having to go to neurologists and psychologists and try and figure out why I would have these night terrors, so to speak. Um, but they say night terrors are never the same. Like each one of them is some different reaction to an insecurity that you're harboring inside your head. My night terrors were the same, and if they threaten to come back, they're the same. And it's when I'm traveling between um,
It's okay to cry.
down to delta, between delta and kind of theta waves, when your brain is trying to transition. Usually it's able to shut out your consciousness and go with whatever it needs to see, and you don't necessarily have memories of it. And this is where your dreams begin and your nightmares begin. But I had this uncanny ability to travel into that place really quickly and find myself in where what I thought was death, because it was the absence of light, it was the absence of everything. The only thing I could feel was this ominous force of something that wanted to keep me there.
So before we go deeper into that, because that is the answer I wanted to hear, for anybody who's listening. And trust me, somebody is listening and they have experienced what you're experiencing. So now explain how to get out of that. Because that is the part that gets lost a lot of times.
Yeah.
And you are the embodiment of how to get out of it. You know, you've done it. You went there, you just confessed it. You didn't want to, but you did.
Mhm.
And this is, you know, even the fact that we're on right now, you know, for those of you at home viewing in, how did I do it? I just shot you over a thing and said, I'm home alone tonight. Do you want to do a show? Improv.
Yeah.
And Jeff said something like, okay, so what should we do? You know, like, you want to plan it out? And I'm like, hey, you're the producer, whatever, man. This is it right here. This is the real moment. So going back to that question, what would you tell somebody who, and don't think there are not people that have experienced exactly what you've experienced, because there are. What would you, sorry, it's my daughter.
What would I tell them?
You now talk and I will have to deal with this.
No worries. When you have experiences like that are otherworldly and upsetting, especially when they involve family members, because my family members would have to try and wake me up, try to keep me from running out of the house, trying to keep me from hurting myself, because I would be in this panic, and I would be voicing that I wanted to get out, like let me out, let me out, let me out, please let me out. They didn't understand. They knew I was half asleep or I was half gone somewhere, and they didn't know what to do with me. They didn't know how to solve my problem for me, and I wanted them to, because I would flash back and forth between reality and the darkness.
I have to ask a difficult question. Were you on drugs or highly
No,
intoxicated?
started when I was like 2 years old. So I'm talking about, I got
Really?
I got a hold of it when I was about 14. This is when I got a hold of it. My parents used to not want me to stay the night at anybody's houses in case this happened.
One more time, I didn't hear that.
My folks, they didn't want me to stay the night at people's houses. They were concerned. I remember saying that, can I stay the night at Matt's house? And they're like, well, what if you have a night terror? Like, his parents aren't equipped to handle this. I'm like, I'll be all right.
Wow, you hit it very well. I had no idea.
It was there were a lot of parts to it. It got to the point where my folks and the neurologists, they were saying, like, he'll grow out of it. It's just a thing. It's a phase. Sure, it's a phase. Well, it was getting to the point where I was becoming dangerous because of my size. I can pick my dad up and throw him across the room when I was like 11, because I'd have superhuman strength, because I was in a panic trying to get out of the darkness.
And for those of you at home, I'm 6'5", and I could not pick up Jeff's dad and throw him across the room. So that must have been superhuman strength. I didn't realize I was in, you know.
They were they were nervous, and they were talking to I remember hearing my folks. They were talking quietly, like out of the in the kitchen, and they said, well, what do we do? Because he's getting scary, and he's getting to the point where if he can't get control of this thing, we can't. And my mom was like, John, he threw you across the room. He goes, I know. He goes, and I was trying to hold him down. Like, he was underneath me, laying down, 11 years old, and he rolled up.
This is the first time I've heard of this. That is insane. I didn't even realize I was in the presence of a monster.
my ex would call me like
the Hulk.
she called me the Hulk. Yeah, all the time. And then what is it called? Atrabancado, which is like reckless. It's like somebody like a bull in a china shop. Because she's like, you're bleeding from.
Your dad was huge. I told you I was afraid of your dad. I mean, the guy was huge.
He's,
You know, he was a big man.
he was
Really
yeah,
strong.
yeah, yeah. So
This is it's so weird to.
I tossed him
I
when
should not be. I shouldn't have been able to hang out
as,
with you. I
as an
understand.
as an adolescent in panic mode. I threw him, and then as I was getting a little older, they were like, what do we do?" And my dad said, "Well, the doctor said if he gets too much for us to control, we could put him someplace where he can get the help that he needs."
What?
Yeah, I was a threat. And they were like, "We don't want it to come to that. We don't want
The whole time I just wanted to have sex with your sister. So
to." Right. I was dealing with something that was there was this it had been part of me my whole life, and it was definitely wasn't something I was proud of at
why did
all.
you never told me this?
Even all the things but all of all the spiritual stuff that you and I investigated together. The reason I was so open-minded to that is because I had my demons that I was battling like on the weekly, sometimes nightly.
I had no idea. You covered it up very well.
You know, I was in crisis.
I'm
I didn't know what the darkness was. I didn't want, like, to me, the worst feeling in the world would be to have been separated from my family. But I knew I was getting big and I was becoming a risk. And to know that my parents were afraid of me and afraid for me at the same time, really, really encouraged me to start to figure out like what this whole thing is about. What is this energy that controls me? What is the darkness that I'm afraid of? Why am I afraid to die? Why do I have all this anxiety all the time? And then if there's a darkness, then there's got to be a light. So I'm like, there's got to be a way to control this. There's got to be a way to infuse myself with the positive in order to minimize the negative that's owned me. I feel like demon possession. I'm not kidding. It's owned me since I was 2 years old. And I went to the used bookstore over by 7-Eleven where they had cats.
yes.
And I was looking around the metaphysical area. And there I picked up this book for $2. It was purple, I think. It was purple, black and purple. And it was like how to meditate. It's a very simple book. What's it?
No.
And then I picked up another one, which was the Jose Silva control your mind, control your something, control your mind, control your destiny. It's one of those books, which was like Silva masterclass, like all over the US in the 80s and 90s. Learn how to access those different parts of your brain in order to be more think with all of you, process with all of you, you know.
Well, do you remember and I did have some good experiences with in El Cajon there was a metaphysical bookstore, and there, crystals and books and everything they did.
Was it on East Main Street?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Next to the Pizza Hut?
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly where it was. And my ex-wife, her uncle's girlfriend would do readings there and stuff like that. And because we were young and completely broke, you know, well, we didn't have any money. She would let us come in and we would do readings. You know, she would do it.
Yeah.
And I got a lot out of it. My dad was not pleased with it. He was just like, that woman is not telling you the truth. But yet, you know, my parents, that is the world that I was brought up in. But he didn't like hearing what she had to say.
Mm.
And I didn't have a problem with it because I was kind of like, well, this kind of makes sense to me. And so you get into it and you go a little bit farther. And what I really appreciated, her name was Cheryl. What I really appreciated about it was she wasn't asking for anything.
Right.
No money, no compensation. It was, here's two young kids trying to embark on their life. So, you know, let's give it to them. Let's do it. But man, your story that trips me out. It's weird to hear it now, especially since we've had a lot of off-screen conversations. You know, for those of you tuning in at home, we do have off-screen conversations.
What? It's not true. Lies, damn lies. So my journey to being okay with spirituality, understanding that there are forces other than what they tell you, you know, in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, that there's something else you have to contend with, because
I'm Matthew.
I prayed to God. God didn't get me out of the darkness. I tried really, really hard. I said all my prayers, all the ones that are memorized out of the hymnals, out of the book. I made them up as I went along. I tried and I tried and I tried, and I knew that in that darkness, God was not there. And it's not that God didn't want to be. It's not that I felt like God didn't know what was there.
Do you know do you know that God was not there, or could you not see God?
There was a void.
Trust me, I am the last guy to.
There's an absolute void. It was
Voids are
it was either nothingness, and not comfortable nothingness, not like when you die nothingness, which was comfortable. This was a neutral or negative plane that I was on, and it was only neutral or negative.
Your thoughts create your reality. Watch out. Be careful.
Well, I spent 11 years going there. I was understanding what it was because I decided to learn how to control myself in that state, so then I can explore it and not be afraid of it anymore, which is why I learned how to meditate.
Well,
And I learned how to meditate.
think about what I just said, though.
I understand. Your thoughts create your reality.
Those are words.
Hmm?
Those are just words. Your digestion of those words are more important. Check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. If it's working for you, then good.
It's not. It's not an act. This is not an active crisis.
No, I'm sure it's not.
This
I'm just saying, be careful. Be careful what you're preaching.
okay. So I'm done. What do you got?
Not much.
Help me out. I want your take on not I guess my point was giving an introduction to why I believe that you can believe truly spiritual things with traditional religion and then have there not be a conflict specifically. I think there's value in discovering what the power, what that power really is and what you can do with it. My crisis when I was younger is what brought me to that. I don't know how I would have gotten into it otherwise.
No,
And I did.
I think that's a great thing for you.
And
I had no idea.
I dilly-dallied and I realized that you can use that same energy for positive things. And this was a lot of the stuff that you and I did when we were kids. It's believing
I had no idea while we were doing it.
Believing what is real and what is possible and being open-minded and open-hearted. Tell me about your journey.
You would have to ask me a more direct question. So I'll take it.
So what is the spirituality that you that you ascribe to, that you find comfort, direction? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually going to dodge your question, and I'm going to go in with when I thought we were live, but we weren't, because it was a lot for me to offer. And then when I found out we weren't live, I was like, oh, good. So I will change the names to protect
The guilty,
or whatever, Dragnet style, I got myself on the phone tonight. I had to finally reach out to a friend because of things that were going on in my life, but he's got me by 20 years. So I thought, this is a guy that's going to be able to possibly give me some insight into what's going on.
okay.
And at first he was like, I'm about to go on a business call thing. And I said, all right, no rush, whatever. And then I kind of told him, I'm not about to talk about business with you. I just want to, because we work together professionally. I said, this is what I'm looking at. This is what's happening in my life right now. And he had no idea. And I'm not going to go into that because it's not my place to share it. And you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't publicly share it because it's not my place. And I got on the phone with him, and I started to cry. And then I hated that. And I could barely talk. I was trying to explain this, and I was crying. And I told him, I'm like, I don't know why I'm crying. I literally went, come on, Matthew, man up,
Right.
Get it together, boy. And what was nice is he just said, it's okay to cry. He said, you need to. This is what you need to do. Let it, don't harbor it, let it out. And so that's something that I would not normally disclose or talk about or anything like that. But it happened. And I couldn't control it. And as a man,
Right. It's your pride.
yeah. I mean, it was just like last month with my daughter, she sent me something that she did, and I said, I will never cry in front of you. But right now, I have tears in my eyes because I'm so proud of you. And that was all I could say. But she wasn't here, you know what I mean? Like she couldn't see it.
Right.
So that was cool for me. you know.
You're letting yourself off the hook.
Yeah, exactly.
God forbid if you let all the energies flow.
Oh, I know, because we're guys, and or at least, you know, and that's dumb. It's dumb to think like that.
There's this fear in being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Vulnerability is frightening.
Oh, it's scary as hell.
Brene Brown, stand up and be seen. Step into the ring. There's no courage without first having vulnerability. One does not exist without the other.
You have to get into the arena, and you got to fight. And guess what? You're gonna lose.
Yep.
But through that loss, you're gonna learn.
And then you're gonna win.
Maybe,
So
maybe not. Yeah.
So what do you attribute your mangina emotions to? Why did hearing his voice open that?
I don't know that it was his voice. I think it was just me, because I had to reach out. And that's the other thing about being a man is like, and I went through something at 10 o'clock in the morning this morning that was ridiculous. I'll tell you the story. It sounds like a movie to me, but you know, I'm a quarter Mexican, right?
Yep.
Which doesn't really count for much.
Mm-mm.
I wish it did. And in Mexico, there are streets named after my family and things like that. And blah, 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 whatever. So what happened was I decided, number one, I'm out of ice cream. Number two, I think it's time to have chicken flautas that I know they sell at the Dollar General. So it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I go up there. I'm like, I'm going to get those right now so I can have them later. There are three Mexican men, younger than me by a long shot. And I could feel the testosterone. And I went down the aisle, and the very smallest of all the guys, although he looked really scrappy, like
Yeah.
he could probably kick my ass. Like
Right.
I'm not gonna pretend like, you know, I would win. He probably
Right.
would.
Oh yeah.
Slammed into my shoulder on an aisle that had plenty of room, and then turned around and was just going off on me. And then the other two showed up, and I'm in a Dollar General. I don't know if you guys know Dollar General or not.
Yeah. I think they're nationwide.
National.
Yeah.
And now I notice there's one behind me, there's one over here, and there's the guy who just hit me. And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I think I'm going to jail today. Which I can deal with that. But then through the aisle, another guy, he was right around the corner. He saw it all go down. White guy in a pink, and I mean pink hoodie. And he walks around, he looks at me and goes, I mean, he might as well have been Logan Paul or one of those guys.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, now it's 2-on-3. I'm like, okay, I really just want to get my
Fucking flautas.
flautas in my ice cream, you know. I'm like, doesn't seem right. I'm like, why does this keep happening to me? And then another guy comes down the aisle, and he's this old Mexican. He walks up to the kid who hit me, smacks him in the back of the head, rattles off a bunch of, I don't know what he told him.
Spanish.
Because he's, I don't speak the language.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, blah, 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 blah. And I watched all the other guys kind of go. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. All right.
Yo, Grandpa, Papa.
Yeah, Papa. That's right. Holy big Papa. Yeah, I was like, man, if that guy wasn't there, I would have been screwed.
You got a pink hoodie Paul on your side. So you ready?
Back when that happened, he just like moved on down the aisle.
Yeah. That's weird. That's crazy.
That's why I said it was like a movie. I was just like,
the fact that it happened, you're in a Mexican standoff, literally.
yeah.
That was inspired by nothing except for somebody feeling ornery. They just want to fuck with somebody.
Yep.
And then you're like, things happen quickly. And I guarantee that the 90 seconds that was all of that interaction felt like forever.
I know. And the only thing I can say is I never said anything.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah.
I just stayed quiet and I watched and I was observing and I was thinking, all right, what in the hell is going on right now?
Right.
And I knew there was no moment to talk. Just stay silent. And luckily I did. I stayed silent, and the old man showed up and gave him a slap on the back of the head and probably told him, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
I assume that's what he said.
Most likely, yeah.
So
that's wild.
Yeah. And and this is why I say, why does this happen to me often? Because I had the same type of scenario happen when I was out with my girlfriend. We were just having dinner at a Mexican restaurant. There was a big,
I see the common theme here.
Yeah.
You need to eat less flautas.
Yeah, but I love Mexican food, I love Mexican food.
Me too.
I love guacamole,
We don't call it, in my family, we don't call it Mexican food. We just call it dinner. It's it's not Taco Tuesday. It's just dinner. We have tacos
You say it's taco every day.
Right. You have tacos 3 times a week because they're good. So you were drawing that flauta energy. So that was a tough part of your morning. So then you also have to now reach out and ask for help on top of that, or guidance, or whatever the case may be, right? Were you indicating that played into that partially played into your heightened sensitivity?
I don't know. I can't answer that honestly.
Okay.
So I won't. And yeah, I probably segued off, and that's what I do when I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, I watch it
with the questions,
So
it was a lot for me to confess that I even cried on the phone. So that.
Well, thanks for being a stand-up guy.
Well,
being human.
That's all I got.
So this Hawaiian thing that I know you for.
Slow down. We're live, so slow down.
Tell me how it is that you got into any spiritual practice, because if I recall, I don't even think your family was Christmas and Easter religious. I don't recall that. I don't recall ever having to go home early because of church. So I don't know if you guys were active church goers, maybe for a little bit. Trying to figure that out, but always your family always struck me as more of a
Okay.
calm, centered, like unicorns are real and your imagination is not just make believe. I always like that about your family.
Is there a question in there?
Tell me about when you found some spiritualism that resonated with you. Why did it resonate with you? What was it specifically about that spiritual practice that mattered to you?
That's I don't know. That's too much. That's too large of a question. I would have to think about it.
Do you remember the first time that you felt like you knew there was something in the universe that was different than traditional God? There was something that you could connect to that was different than what?
Well, I will flip it this way. The more spiritual that I get, the more that I recognize what God is. And it works for me. And even now, like my girlfriend, although she was raised Catholic, which my mom was also, and I've actually sat down. We've had long talks where I've asked her, like, I know you know what the Bible says, so here is what I think I know. Can you explain it to me? As I do it and I go through it, and I learned some things along that path. There were things that were left out that I didn't know, and so because it's really easy to blame, not blame, but get really negative on the Christians or the Catholics or whatever.
Right.
Because we're all pretty much intelligent people at this point. At least we're as intelligent as we think we are. And I came to the realization that the Bible is not based on. I mean, it was written for people at a certain point in time. The stories are there for a certain point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you look at it and you kind of go, well, that's ridiculous. But forget the story. Listen to the message.
Right.
And the message always rings true. And it doesn't matter if it's Ho'oponopono or Buddhism or Christianity, Judaism. What's the what was they all fit together. It's all the same thing coming through. So if it's the same thing coming through every single time, I think that's just the level that we're on right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. Enjoy it. Experience this level. Because if you decide to go out and Abraham Hicks, you want to go out and hear shit that blows your mind, go listen to Abraham. But I can barely handle what he says.
Who's Abraham?
Who is Abraham?
Yeah, Abraham X.
No, Hicks.
Oh, Hicks. I think you said X. I'm like, Abraham Hicks.
Yeah, you're gonna find a woman who channels him.
Oh. Let go and fully trust the universe, says this woman. Abraham Hicks' law of attraction.
And whether what she's doing is true or not, I have to think it's true because it's so far out there.
So this is where she's claiming this is where the law of attraction, the secret, began with him.
Well, hold on. Okay, so to back you up a little bit there. So for anybody who's familiar with The Secret, and when they made the movie, Esther Hicks is the woman who channels Abraham. And she decided that she would do The Secret. And after they put it out, there are only a few copies that actually have her still in the movie because she said, you guys have misrepresented this whole entire thing. And she bailed.
Oh.
Which to me gives more credibility than
anything. Okay. Wow, I've never heard of this foundation of it. This is the original source material for the current law of attraction wave that's sweeping the world and is 21st century inspiration for thousands of books, films, essays, lectures that are responsible for the current paradigm shift in consciousness. Here you will find accurate clarification of the basics of the law of attraction and practical applications, as well as up to the moment leading edge expanding information regarding the law of attraction, also known as the teachings of Abraham.
Yeah. And you know what? I have to tell you that using that word law of attraction is, and I know they're doing it there, that is not what Abraham's about.
Okay.
Abraham is sitting out on the ether side somewhere. And he's just like, you guys are all doing this. And it's okay. That's where you're at. This is the platform you're at. You get to move up eventually. And maybe right, maybe wrong. Who knows? I have no tell. I can't tell you.
They have a cruise.
Well, Tom Cruise can.
They have a vortex of attraction cruise.
Oh God. All right. Can you hold the show for 5 minutes without me?
Yep. So Jose Silva is another self-help meditation, control your mind, control your brain, control yourself, guru, so to speak. He was born in Laredo, Texas, 1914, passed away in 1999. And he claims that he was inspired by, in his youth, he was inspired by radio frequencies, tuning the radio knob to different frequencies in order to pick up different information. And he had a kind of a vision that he bet his life that we were wired very much the same way. So if you think about the time before radio waves were recognized and harnessed, and then after, you ever wonder how the hell one person or a group of people, doesn't matter, but somebody had to think that there's this invisible wave of energy that you can't see and you can't harness because you don't know how to see it, but I bet we can transmit in more energy, like our voices, like images, on that wavelength, which is light and energy wave. And there you go. Radios. You want to hear what people are doing from thousands of miles away? We will transmit it on this idea. Like, think about that. There's technology that we fall into because technology begets technology, right? Effort rewards effort. Like when you first begin technology, I mean, think of the people who were standing around looking at rainbows and thinking, I bet that's light refracted through a prism. And that's just water vapor is acting as the prism, which is then bending the light at that angle, and our eyes are able to see it. I bet there are different frequencies of light, energy, that through manipulation, you can see it. Because without light, there's no color, there's no, But think about those original scientists, the people who were curious, the people who wanted to understand what it was all about. I think there's radio waves. So Jose Silva, he has a vision that he thinks the human brain is going to be made up of electricity, just like a radio. And he's kind of thinking he wants to learn more about it. So he travels to back to DC, I think, and he starts. He goes to the archives and he starts getting as much information on how radio frequencies work. And he found a mentor who worked in that field, and he taught him everything he knew about radio frequency and energy and whatnot. So he was bound and determined to use that same idea. And we knew that at that point in the 1940s, doctors, scientists knew that there were different wavelengths of sleep. So you have alpha, which is when you're fully alert, beta, which is your first kind of subset off of the awake and alert plane, and then you go through actually Charlie, delta. It goes down. Delta is REM sleep, and there are wavelengths below REM sleep that your brain goes into that really harness or attach you to energies that already are existing there. So Mr. Silva starts training, I think it was his kids. He teaches his kids the difference between alpha and beta sleep, or alpha and beta consciousness. And he starts helping them with their schoolwork. And he teaches them basically how to meditate, how to focus yourself and get into a beta waves. That is, and beta is it's the first substrata for conscious brain waves that cannot be encumbered by negative emotion, energy, anxiety. None of that can penetrate that.
Four levels, right?
Yes, alpha, beta, delta, theta. So Jose's he's practicing on himself basically, and he knows that when he wakes up in the morning, and you know when you wake up from that kind of twilight, it's like you wake up and you're interacting with the environment around you, and you're having thoughts, but they're not pervasive. You're not upset about anything. There's no noise yet, but you're still existing in the world, and you're doing your thing, and maybe get up and go pee and whatever, eat a banana, whatever you're going to do, and then kind of go lay back down, and you realize you're kind of drifting in and out of consciousness. Well, that whole time you're in the beta wave, like the whole time, which is where you want to go when you meditate. You want to go back there. So you wake into it every day. So your experience, what it feels like. Everything's calm, everything's chill. Those are those mornings when you're like, man, what a beautiful morning. Everything's amazing. This is great. You just feel really calm. So he taught his daughters how to get there from being alert.
Okay, so I missed the first part of this, and
yeah,
definitely want to know, because I I've been longing for it. I have these moments where in the past I wake up and whatever I was dreaming about makes me feel so good
Mhm.
that I, I'm like ready for my day.
Yeah.
Oh, it just feels so good.
Yeah.
Recently, not so much.
Right.
More bad dreams than good.
Right.
So is that kind of what you're talking about? Because I know I had to walk away and
Yeah, when you first wake up in the morning and when everything like there's no anxiety, that you maybe you're having some positive visions for your day, some something in your dream state left you with a can-do attitude, so to speak. Um Reality hasn't set in yet, but you're still interacting with the world. That's beta waves. Um it's a place that's quieter than where we then awaken into completely.
noise.
A lot of noise in alpha.
Well, and
So
that was that Mr. Rogers post that I put up. I don't
which
know if
one?
you saw that on my Facebook, but he was just saying, yeah, I'm going to paraphrase because
Yeah.
that's what I have to do. But he said, my concern is that the world is so noisy. And this is, way back before cell phones and the internet and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mr. Rogers is like, this is what I see as the problem. It's just so noisy.
Hmm.
And you can't, are you pulling me up right now? Is that what you're doing?
Mm. No. Did you want me to? I thought you were going to paraphrase the quote.
No, no, I did want you to. It's like 2 minutes long.
Oh, okay.
But
Let me do
you
it.
don't have to. By the way, you have the whitest eyes.
White.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm
Yeah, I guess.
not being a jerk. I'm trying to say,
No, I didn't think you were. I wouldn't. I said if you have the reddest eyes, I would say like, well, that doesn't feel very positive.
no, no, yours are like white as can be.
Yeah.
And I wish my eyes were that white, but no, probably not.
It's a sign of strong spiritual health.
I don't believe that.
It is. It is.
Well, why are mine bloodshot then?
Because you're struggling, sir. You're struggling.
Yeah, I know. You know what's really funny is, and I'll share this with whoever's possibly listening.
Mm.
Is you started to scare me a little bit, and I had to reach out to you and be like, "Dude, are you okay?"
Yeah.
like, and you're like,
No.
"No." I'm like, okay, try this, and
Yeah.
tables have turned.
Hey, I appreciate the boost. Sometimes all it takes is just awareness and acknowledgement, and just in life. Hey, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not. And you're like, I can tell.
Well, and
And I'm like, awesome. Like, thank you for stopping to care. I mean, that would have been enough had you not said, I don't know if this is worth anything, but it's just something I see and I want to tell you about it. I said, okay, I'll take it under advisement. Why wouldn't I?
yeah, no, I'm not. I don't have a solution for you. Just except for yoga classes, and look where you're at now. So
Well, this was the interesting thing is like you're like I'm not saying this is I have an answer at all, but this is presenting itself. So I have to tell you. I said, okay, cool. But what I had developed later on, flash forward a couple of years, was this understanding. In the absence of clarity, take action. And I whittled it down to that understanding because it's very easy to find yourself inactive because you don't know what to do next. Well, sometimes you need a break. Sometimes you need to be still and be quiet. That's important. But after a while, the truth is, it doesn't matter if you don't know where your next step is going to be. Take a step. Take a step, because each step will take care of itself. And as you start to move, and your movement might be call somebody and say, hey, I need to talk, or message somebody, or you can even go read a new book, or go to the mall and make it interact with 10 people while you're at the mall on purpose with the intent of giving them a smile.
No, that sounds horrible. I'm not doing that. I hate malls and I hate people.
I'm just saying whatever the challenge is. But when you're stuck, you'll never get back in a flow state of any sort if you don't at least start to take action of some sort.
I have a rule that I try to follow. And honestly, I can't remember where I came up with it, because it's not from me, it's from somebody else. But if you don't know what to do, don't do anything at all. That I live that motto every day, all the time. Because if I don't know what to do, it's kind of like you said, just sit back and take a moment. And the moment will present itself eventually. But if you try to force it to happen, oh man, you're on the hamster wheel again, you know. It's gonna suck for you. And I've been there. I've done it too many times.
So your motto is don't do a damn thing, and my motto is do something for God's sake.
No, if you don't know what to do.
Right. If you
you don't know what to do, you just do anything?
No, it's not do anything. Just take action of some sort. It doesn't mean that you jump into something like all resolute, like, look, I'm confused in my life. I'm miserable. I'm depressed. Nobody loves me. I feel like this is the end of the road. I'm going to become a phlebotomist. Like, don't make something up.
Yeah.
That's not going to solve anything.
Well, when I was most worried about you was you were going out on dates, and you were, and you know, you were experienced, and I wasn't even there yet, and I know exactly what you experienced.
Yeah,
it's the reality, which is there. You know, there's a lot of, make yourself look pretty.
Yes, that was it. I think
show up. Did I ever tell you about my first date?
I'm sure, but nothing wrong with nothing wrong with retelling it if it was a shit show.
Speaking of Ho'oponopono, it's a good story. So I don't know what I'm doing. I've been married for 25 years. I don't even know how to date. I don't know what I'm doing. In fact, I'm so worried about it that I didn't even drive my car. I just took an Uber because I thought, if she gets my license plate number, maybe she can. I mean, I didn't know. I had no idea. So I get there, and everything seems to be pretty nice. She's a nice girl. And then all of a sudden, she's like, yeah, well, I practice Ho'oponopono. And I thought, whoa. I thought right out of the gate, I'm like, did I just knock one out of the park, without even knowing it? I'm like, this is fantastic. So then I qualified her. She goes, well, I'm really into it. And I was like, okay. I said, well, what do you know? And she goes, well, the truth is, I Googled you before.
Mm.
You're really easy to find, which I am. And I know that, but I didn't know it then.
It's because that one T in your Matthew.
Yeah, single T. That's right. Matthew with one T. And so she couldn't answer anything about it. And that was when she got caught. And then she folded and she was just like, I Googled you. And then I'm sitting there going, this is really weird. It was almost like a stalker situation. You know?
Right. Yeah.
I just
Like
read
why
something.
I understand you Googling me, and I don't blame you for that, but why would you do it and then use it to your advantage?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of freaked out on
Ho'oponopono.
that.
What is that about? Like what is a practitioner or a, I don't know, fan or a follower, or I don't know what you call it, someone who practices Ho'oponopono. What does it mean? What is it about?
I'm sorry, you're catching me off guard a little bit right now.
Well,
Well, no,
Gee.
I mean,
can you describe it? I mean, you attributed it to yourself multiple times and this girl who faked it. So can you just describe what it is? You don't have to dive into it like.
I would say go Google it.
Google. Okay.
You do it.
Cool. It's always good to have a.
I'm not at liberty. Not at liberty to say.
Wow. He might have to kill you. Now we definitely want to look it up.
Well, that's it.
Remembering Mr. Rogers, 94.
Are you getting my Mr. Rogers thing?
Am I getting what?
Are you getting Mr. Rogers up?
This is like a 15-minute interview. Seems like it might be a bit much.
Go a little, go below that. There's a 2-minute one. I put the 2-minute one up later, as I said, for anybody who has time.
There's Hunter Thompson. There's Robin Williams. Here we go. Okay, let me share this. And then screen number 3, it says, I believe it. Share sound. Optimize video. Blink.
Why do you think Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, what does it achieve? What does it accomplish?
Oh, I hope that it's given a few more honest adults in the lives of the children who watch, because I do think that that's a great gift. That if adults can show what they love in front of kids, there'll be some child who'll say, I'd like to be like that, or I'd like to do that. I remember Yo-Yo Ma being on our program. He's come to visit several times. Yeah. And there have been families who have written to us to say that their kids want to learn the cello.
Right, because they saw Yo-Yo Ma on the program?
Because they saw him love his work on the program. And there have been some basketball players and some sculptors. Oh, I remember in the nursery school where I worked as I was doing my master's work in child development. There was a man who would come every week to sculpt in front of the kids. The director said, I don't want you to teach sculpting. I just want you to do what you do. and love it in front of the children. During that year, clay was never used more imaginatively before or after than during that time that he came. So a great gift of any adult to a child, it seems to me, is to love what you do in front of the child. I mean, if you love to if you love to bicycle, if you love to repair things, do that in front of the children. Let them catch the attitude that that's fun. Because you know attitudes are caught, they're not taught.
30 years.
That was actually really cool.
Yeah, and you know what? That was not the part I was thinking
Why
about,
do you think
but
Mr.
it
Rogers'
doesn't
neighborhood?
matter because anything Fred has to say is awesome. And I would like to ask you, what do you like? What do you think of him? I'm always afraid that they're gonna come out and slash him out in some way, but
Fred Rogers is a
they
interesting
can't.
character
They can't do it.
because so he was born kind of turn of the century, 20th century, and he was unique because it was a time in the 40s when men were getting into education and elementary education at a pretty deep level. Men were still encouraged to like get your undergraduate, your master's, even your PhD in education. And knowing that he was also a Methodist preacher,
I didn't know that.
yeah, and not to say that he would say, like, not to say he was the best parent in the world, because he made plenty of mistakes, just like anybody does raising their own kids. I know that he had his eye on the good in humans, and it's what's sad is this day and age, I don't trust any men to be in primary and elementary education at all.
How can you? I know.
Because and it's literally, it's destroyed. This wokeism has destroyed the bonds between trusting men at all, period, because the patriarchy is bad, because their intention with your kids are bad. And even though it's not the straight heterosexual men who are perpetrating all the horrific behavior that's going on, there's still enough, and it's created such a distrust even between your. It used to be like you maybe trusted grandpa, maybe you probably trusted the reverend, because usually there's multi-generations there, and then the teacher or the principal. There might be a male in that role that you would trust, and it's gone. I think he's a unique individual because I know from going back and watching his interviews, reading stories about him, what you saw with him is what you got. It was not an act.
No.
He was genuine and kind. He filmed at the same studio, the PBS studios. He did his show. He took it seriously. He didn't make money doing it. I guess eventually there was some money in it, but he did it because he believed in the good of man, divine providence, that God wants you to touch the hearts of the little ones around you so they can grow to be strong too. And he believed that in everything that he did.
That's very well put. Oh, you write that down. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was
No, it's all right.
those are great words.
Well, I saw Tom Hanks play him.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
I did too.
I mean, I love Tom Hanks.
Why
But he,
are you a bosom buddy?
Buffy.
Mm.
Tom, watching Tom play him, you got to see I think the way he held his facial expressions. It was very genuine. And that character and what he portrayed to us is what we would not have known otherwise, which is what happens when the cameras are off.
So let me ask you, I have multiple questions, but let me ask you this because I'm kind of deep into this right now. I realized that my love for Gene Wilder is probably too much. But also being a musician, and I know you're musical also, so rhythm and timing is so important. And Gene had his moments where he had to go a little, out of the box.
Right.
But for the most part, like let me try right now. Very slow, very calm. No rush. And I see that with Fred because he didn't have to talk fast. He knew that what he said was important and he just laid it out. And I think Gene kind of had the same thing. And at this age, it impresses me that these guys did this, compared to, I have to get right in your face right now and I have to talk to you so fast that,
Right.
It's like, yeah, so that I think you're important. Why? Let's slow it down. Let's just stop. And I'm going slower and slower and slower all the time.
Jordan Peterson, although his pace is not as slow as the two that you referenced, his deliberateness and the fact that he says what he means, and he doesn't.
If the content is valid,
he does. He's like he doesn't say what he does. So he will not. He says, a matter of fact, is what he says. I never have said that. Do you know how I know? Because I'm very, very careful with my words. Very careful. Since I was 25 years old, I made a decision.
I should be more careful with my words.
And he's speaking with confidence because he can tell you someone will try to say, well, you said, he's like, I've never said that ever. And he goes, and here's another thing. I started putting my YouTube videos or my lectures up as YouTube videos. And he goes, as soon as the progressive leftists wanted to come and attack me, the first thing they did is they went to the church. Thousands and thousands of hours over many, many, many years of me talking. And they could find exactly 0 times when I didn't say exactly what I meant with clarity, because that was been my conscious choice. And you're like, that's amazing. To me, that's tell the truth, or at least don't lie.
So
that's one of his 12 steps. Try to tell the truth, or at least don't lie.
I'm gonna sit with the confidence that nobody is actually listening to us. That is my biggest fear. As I try to move into this world, that is my biggest fear. And I get it. I understand.
About an hour ago when we were talking, this is, well, here's the universe working certain way. I want to share this and we're going to call it a night.
Okay.
So my friend, Chris Cooper, he was getting ready to take a financial exam, a hard one. And something came up, the last big financial test that he took. This is to become licensed agent. He did not pass it a month and a half ago or so. And he wanted to blame external circumstances on it. There was something going on in life. And he said, well, it's because of that person that I didn't pass my test. And I called him out, much like Matthew does to me. I said, no, that's bullshit. That's
responsibility, baby.
That is that is not the reason you didn't pass. You didn't pass because you were not ready to take it. You didn't pass because you let something get in the way of you passing. It's 100% your responsibility. Don't you ever put that on some other human being who happened to walk in your peripheral that day.
Right.
And don't tell me that you did 3 months of studying and because one human interaction that day pissed you off, you failed your test. I said, no, you failed your test because you failed yourself. So here's the thing. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. But stop blaming and don't blame yourself from this point forward. You do better because you can.
Yeah. And, I'm not going to use his name here again to protect the innocent, but how do I say this correctly? When you have an understudy, is the way I will put it, because this man that I'm speaking of is younger than I am. Although I get a lot from just watching him and talking to him, and he has expressed that he gets a lot from talking to me. So we have this good mutual situation. You know me personally, I am the last word guy. I always want to have the last word.
Oh, so this is your last word? I wasn't done with my story. So do you want to wait? I don't want to ruin your last word. I mean,
You're not done with your story. I thought you were done.
No, I literally just give you the preamble.
I'll back off.
That's okay. I feel we can
the floor is yours, Mr. Sinatra.
We could sandwich in. It doesn't bother me. You tell something that's relevant about.
I didn't know I cut you off. I didn't mean to. You took a long pause, so I'm trying to fill dead air.
Oh.
Well,
no.
My story is real quick.
You were inspired. You were inspired. It happens. Do you want to save yours for last and I'll finish this, or do you want to tell yours and I'll finish this? I don't want you to feel like you're incomplete.
Mine's almost done.
Okay, go.
I'll finish it up. I enjoy letting him have the last word now. I just sit back and just go, I used to be you. Now I'm me. Evidently, maybe not. So you take it. Go, son.
Wait, what that was your story?
I was that close to the end.
Watching your understudy. And
that's it. That's all I got. Go.
So do you think he'll reach your level of chill?
Oh wow, you don't know what to do right now.
What are you talking about?
The floor is yours.
I'm aware. I was asking you, do you feel like your understudy?
Why would you ask me when I'm telling you? Let's hear what you got to say. I cut you off evidently.
You don't like answering questions. I noticed this. He hates it. You guys notice this? Matthew hates answering questions. I've asked him like 10 questions tonight and he'll just defer like no. But he loves asking questions.
He answers the questions he wants to.
Oh, he loves asking them. So
anyway, the other day
before his last test, This is what I told him. Because he was freaking out. He's like, I got to go back and study. I got to study. I got to study. I got to study. I have my test in the morning, my new one. And I said, dude, you already know what you know, buddy. Find your inner guru, meditate, find your peaceful wavelength, and visualize easily answering all the questions effortlessly. No effort, just calm, detached amusement.
How old is he?
Hold on. As you remember that you are a motherfucking beast. So this was August 30th. And then he said, I like your vision above. And then, you know, some niceties, and then he disappeared. He sends me his test results and he nailed it. And I was like, that's great.
Oh, good. Good for
And
him.
he said,
How old is he?
30s.
Okay.
He
That's
said, hold on, I'm almost done with my story.
I'm sorry. I'm just. Oh wow.
um,
All right. I got where we're at. Go, baby.
So what?
Don't make me stand up and pull my dick out.
So I don't hear from him for another 2 weeks. He takes another series test and passes it. And I said, hey, I'm proud of you. And he goes, man, you helped set me on this path. I can never, I got him into finance in the first place. He was not working in finance. I hired him. And then I was like, I believe in you. And I still do. I can never thank you enough. I'm proud of myself. I read your visualization again many times right before going in and nabbing the Series 6.
Oh, cool.
That is solid fucking meditation type advice. And then he quoted it again. And that was while we were talking this evening. So, and he just quoted it like,
oh, cool. You know,
that's what I wanted to share. So that was cool. It's cool for it to happen once. And then now you can apply it. Now he's like,
well,
he's a believer. So that makes me happy.
Well, no, yeah, I think that's wonderful. And I was, for those of you at home, Jeff and I might be working in the future together. Only if he wears that hat.
Oh yeah.
And so the other day when I was talking about it, I was trying to remind my parents who you were. I said, you remember Jeff, the guy with the really big fucking head? And my dad's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy, that asshole. I remember him.
I said, and you know what's surprising? And this is this is from my dad, it's not from me. I said, you know what's surprising? Is Jeff is actually really fucking smart. And my dad goes, because he's got a big head. And we're at my girlfriend's house, you know, with a plethora of food, you know, just fucking everything in sight. But I was just awesome. Like, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You know, a big old fucking head.
Because at first I was like, you know, the guy who almost burned his house down, me and him.
Yeah.
And they didn't, they're like,
huh?
I'm like, the guy with the big fucking head.
You look like E.T. E.T. going home.
You've grown into your head. Like when you were younger, though.
It was the same size, and I was not.
Yeah, that's right. The rest of your body.
People called me so many names. Like, you want to be bullied? Oh my Lord. I was people call me watermelon head, flat face, because I didn't have a bridge to my nose until I was about 8. Really? So it was like, yeah, it was just this button nose and then flat between my eyes for the most part. My parents were like, God, I hope he never has to wear glasses because they're gonna have to staple them to his forehead. Flat face, ET, because my neck, I do have a long neck, but again, I've grown into it. But
No,
I didn't have.
I didn't think you had a long neck.
I'll find some childhood pictures. I got plenty of them. Where, yeah, it looks like
You
lips-
were just as awkward as I was, and you know that I was awkward because I was like a scarecrow, you know.
right. And I was tall for my age, but short of arms, short of leg.
You weren't as tall as I was.
Right.
I was a scarecrow, you know.
He was frightening.
Yeah,
He could reach over and pinch my nose from his bed up on. I was sleeping on the floor, and he was on his bed. He could reach over and pinch me.
All right. Let's reel it back. Let's reel it back.
The hell is that?
We ain't gonna give him that much, right?
I can't breathe. Hey, do you remember the smell of your feet? Who knows? There were all these trigger points.
That's enough.
Trigger points on your feet. I remember. All right. You get embarrassed. We didn't do anything weird. We're just weird kids. We were just willing to believe what we were willing to believe, and I think that was something that was unique. At least for me, it was unique. That I was used to people who were limited by their dogma and limited by their tradition, and you could fantasize to a certain degree with people unless you stepped on their spirituality, their version of it, and then there was no discussion.
Never step on my spirituality.
And I liked that. I like that unicorns were real. And
that's the second time you've said that. So
what was Robert
Bummer.
I just didn't like there were things that outside of the Mathew universe, maybe I wouldn't bring up to somebody else and try and convince them of. But within the Mathew universe, it was not only plausible, but you were an idiot if you didn't believe it. And I liked that. I was like, I like this. There's conviction.
You weren't an idiot if you didn't believe it.
It is so rare to have conviction in your beliefs. People are afraid to stand behind something.
I think I still do it to this day, which is one part of my attire will be a little outside the box, just to see if anybody reacts. So, just the other night, like the two gay guys that I was like, hey, can I get a picture?
How did you know they were gay?
Because I have gaydar.
Oh.
I have a lot of gay friends.
No. Because when I kiss his mouth, it tastes like a dick.
I knew he was gay when no. You almost got me.
How can you tell the difference between an oral and a rectal thermometer?
I'm not answering this question.
The taste. Yeah. Well,
but if you look at what I wore.
Yeah, you had your checkered Vans.
That's right.
And
just one little thing. That's all it takes. Just to say, hey, you know what?
Mahalo.
I'm cool. That's right.
Yeah. I just wear this face and then people know. I have an inviting face. I've been told I have the least judgment.
Man, you almost got me again.
People tell me that like I look very inviting and non-judgmental until I'm pissed off, and then I'm so judgmental. I'm the most judgmental person in the world. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like, but I don't get pissed off very often, so it's a 90-10 thing. It's people who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch. The only two things I hate.
Okay.
All right.
Everybody at home, I did not say that. That was him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Um,
I am not going to fall for this.
if his name is Vengeance and he's anonymous,
I
what do we say? My name is Unanimous. I think Unanimous is gonna kick your ass. I cuddle with him when I get sleepy.
Where's it? Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
not going to talk about unanimous on here.
We're not gonna talk about my what?
Unanimous. We're not going to talk about that.
Survey says
No.
it's unanimous. So you're at the end of your life. You're standing at St. Peter's Gate, an old Protestant throwback. You find out that there is a heaven, there is God, all those things, right? And St. Peter says, if you can tell me the lesson that you learned about life, then I'll let you in. What lesson would you tell him?
Silence.
He'll accept it. Welcome. Welcome to heaven.
I know.
Now you're cocky. Purgatory. All right.
West Side
What?
for life. I had to, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Hey, be careful when you're going out for your flautas and your Cinnabon or
You have Netflix, right?
yeah, and chill.
And so I had to convert because Snoop does this. West Side for life. I'm like, oh man, I can't do that. You know, I'm like, all right.
Snoop D-O-double-G. That's right. All right. So
Into the full.
remember, we are all hurtling towards our death at an incredible rate of speed, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, but you might be able to slow it down. I highly recommend you surround yourself with like-minded people so you can be reminded that even when you're all alone, you're not all alone. We're in this together, whether you like it or not. You might as well find some people to do it with.
Yeah, that's usually who I do it with.
And if you want more erotica, check out Matthew on Facebook. Go ahead and DM him. We'll get some dirty out there. We'll get some dirty.
Don't waste your time.
I'll be happy to
Boys
record.
and girls, don't waste your time.
I'm going to record that. If you'd like to add that as an amendment to your document, I'll do a little background music and
I'm taking them very satisfied. So
very good work, sir. Very good work. Thank you for sharing.
I know you got an outro because you were leading into it right there.
Oh yeah, it was when I video. I don't know. I don't know that I have an outro. Let's find out. Maybe I do. Show. Group double. Neon sign. Sinatra studio albums. Trim. 4 seconds.
This is actually good because it's only midnight. So
Fresh, hot trips. The chain smokers. Where is it?
oh, I have like one off-air question for you. So once you actually figure out what the hell you're doing, take it off.
Who is this? How do I have so little space left in my drive? It's a horrible idea. Ugh. I don't even know what this is. Oh, I shouldn't play it.
Nobody's on anyway. Just turn it off. It's fine.
You know, I can get through this without your commentary. Probably a lot faster.
Blah 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 How do I put, see, you're lucky that I don't know how any of this works. Otherwise I would just be putting stuff on.
What is this?
Is that you?
No, that was Mama Fox.
Oh, I thought that was you. It looked like you.
Because of the extra curves?
It's just the way I remember you.
You're a dirty, dirty birdie. Fucking laugh. Jeff the producer, loops, John S. Show. Okay, here we go. Oh, no, this is not it. It's just a bunch of John clips. What is this? But you, for some reason, you were not like super enthused with me that day. Why do we have evenings like that where it's like I'm thoroughly enjoying you hating me? I don't know what the purpose of that was, but that was fun. Everything was going nice and tight. Kind of like
Yeah, like your mom or Jeff Coy's mom.
Let's go with my mom. I think that's fucking funny.
Yeah, we all got in trouble for that, right?
What?
Jeff
Doing
Coy's,
my mom?
no, Jeff Coy.
Oh yeah, Jeff Coy's mom. There's some trouble there. Big time. Here we go.
I
Luke.
don't even know, but I have to tell you that my daughter and I still quote that line all the time. Oh yeah. That's what Jeff Coy's mom said.
Yeah.
M-A-T-T to the T. I'm a steamy and you pay a fee. I do what I do professionally.
That's it. That's the show. Love one another. Love